Good morning. My name is Kevin Kearns, and I'm here at the Annapolis Boat Show. I'm joined today by Steve Pettingill. Steve is a world-renowned offshore ocean racer. Steve, tell us a little bit about your sailing career and what you've been doing lately.
Well, sailing career kind of started young, actually. I was conceived on a boat. Out of 7 kids, my mother remembers that. So I've been doing it 61 years. But so I've logged a lot of miles, a lot of ocean racing, some single-handed stuff, record-setting things. I kind of quit logging after 350,000 miles of sailing.
350,000 miles. All right, so you're not a new sailor?
No.
No, okay. All right. I understand you were part of the development and did some of the testing on the first 127 with the Elco propulsion system.
That's correct. I've been on a couple of them, actually, with the 27s.
And the E36?
E36, yeah.
Right. Now, what's interesting is we have two systems here. We have the E-Power, which is the Elco motor, and it's propelled by batteries only. And that would be for your typical day sailor, leaving the marina, going out sailing, having an enjoyable time with no smoke, no sound, no vibration. When the wind dies, turn that motor back on and come back into the marina, plug it in, good to go the next day. We also have the E-Power Hybrid, and that's for sailors that, like yourself, go offshore. You're off the grid, and you have the ability to turn on your genset to charge your batteries, and also continuous cruising with the E-Power electric motor. Steve, it's probably helpful when you're out cruising on the boat to understand exactly the conditions of the batteries. What Elco has developed is the E-gauge, and what this shows you is the actual RPMs of the shaft spinning. We also have the amps being used. This is a very accurate, real-time display, both analog and digital. And then over here, just like the fuel gauge in your car, it's your condition of the batteries. They're at full, and as you use the batteries, it will go down so you have a very clear understanding of the time in minutes and hours remaining, and that's spelled out right down here, so you always know the status and condition of your cruise. We also have a nice feature. This is called the Power Boost. The Power Boost is when your boat is at efficient cruising speed and you encounter some strong winds or currents, you can deploy and push this button, and what it will do, it will increase the RPMs of the motor, and that will get you through the current or chop or wind. Once you've passed that additional burden on the boat, you can release it, and the RPMs go back to your original predetermined efficient cruise. So it's a nice safety feature as well. Steve, when you were on the Hunter 36, you did a combination of sailing and cruising on the Elco motor.
Correct.
Could you tell us a little bit about the differences? Did you notice anything in the thrust or the duration?
Well, with electric motors, one of the beauties is when you're around tight areas, you have quick response. It's not a problem when you accelerate. You have direct acceleration. You don't have a hesitation. And it certainly makes it a lot quieter maneuvering and talking to people with your crew. There's no engine noise whatsoever. And like you mentioned, there's no fumes. So that's a big plus. And I think some of the pluses that people don't realize on electric-powered motors on sailboats is that you don't have the maintenance upkeep like changing oil and things of that nature, fuel problems, airlock with your diesel fuel, and you start adding up a lot of pluses when you're talking electric power versus diesel. So I mean, and the smoothness itself is great.
The Elco electric propulsion system will power a range of sailboats. In the Hunter fleet, they have the Hunter 27 all the way up to the Hunter 50. And we have 6 propulsion systems that are custom designed to equate the horsepower of a comparable diesel. So you don't sacrifice anything in performance or duration. Now, when you're off the grid and you don't have the ability to plug it in your marina, we also have a combination of ways to charge the boat, charge the batteries, and that would be a combination of either solar panels, the wind turbine, and of course, as I mentioned before, the genset. So you really have several ways to repower the batteries when you're away from the marina. And one of the really nice features is when you are actually sailing and the propeller is spinning, you're actually taking energy from that spinning propeller as the water goes over the blades, and that's turning the shaft and putting electricity back in the batteries.
It's a gain situation.
Yes.
The beauty of having both solar panels and the wind charger, solar panels do great a certain part of the day.
Right.
But they don't do much at night. So that's when the wind charger comes in. And when you're motoring also, if you have your wind charger going, you're actually putting power back in the battery too. I mean, even if it's no wind at all.
Right.
That's when you usually motor.
Right,
so
right.
It's a great system to have both of the combinations on the boats. And I'm glad to see you guys have developed the system and tied it all in together.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you and Hunter. And have a great show. And thanks so much for your time, Steve.
You bet.
Okay.
Right. Take
Thank
care,
you.
guys.
Bye now.